Hey guys, I'm Jody Blackwelder, and you're watching Gen 7 Outdoors podcast, and we're doing a brand new series where we sit down with our outdoor creators and talk about their experiences in creating content, why they do what they do, and just tell their story. And today I have with me Brandon Berry of Local Hammer 82. That's his YouTube channel name. I found him on YouTube. I was looking at content. I'm like, man, he's doing pretty cool. I need to reach out to him. And we got talking, and now he's on Gen 7 Outdoors. And Brandon, I want to welcome to the podcast. And I'm just going to dive right in.
Well,
Like,
thank you for inviting me, man.
yes, sir. And so, like, how did you go from fishing and saying, you know what, I need to be a YouTuber? Like, what led you into that?
Well, I would just be fishing and putting pictures on Facebook, and it just continued to happen over every weekend, every weekend, every weekend. I'm putting pictures, and somebody was like, you should start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do that. And then I started doing it with my phone, and then I finally realized what a headache that was because I have a story that's going to happen later on about using a phone versus a GoPro. It really cost me a really good video, and that's basically how. And then I've been doing it ever since. I've been doing it with a GoPro, taking it fairly seriously for since 2023.
Okay. So, like, you you well, do you, like, do any hunting or other stuff too, or are you just, like, fishing is your passion?
It's it's
Like, where
just
you at with
it's
that?
just fishing. I mean, I've got everything I need to hunt. I just don't do it because I don't know. Like my dad was a huge hunter, and I'm the same way with fishing. Like he was watching the hunting channel 24/7. Between that and Andy Griffith, that was it. That's all he watched. And Judge Judy, and like all I think about is fishing. So it's kind of I'm like the version of him, but a fishing sense. You know what I mean? I've kind of
Yeah,
I've
so
I've went hunting. I've shot squirrel before. I went turkey hunting 4 or 5 years ago down in Taylorsville. Uh, but that's about it.
the, so what type of fishing is it that's just, like, your most like, what you go after for the most part?
My true passion is bass fishing for the reason they're just so challenging to catch. They have it's like a big puzzle. When you get on the lake and I do like a lot of study on maps and wind direction and weather and all that stuff throughout the week, and I put that all together into where I'm going to go start off at. And at every little piece of information you get, whether you get a bite or catch a fish or see a follow, it's a piece of that puzzle. When you eventually put more pieces together, and then you've got a pattern, and you can go around all the lake and the whole lake and duplicate that same thing if you have time to do
So
it.
what
You know,
right, so the, like, what's your go-to like, in your area, um, what is, like, the your place that you like going to the most?
I'll go to Taylorsville Lake because it's right down the street from my house. I literally live like 15 minutes away.
And so, like, this so, like, Taylor's like, you give, since these viewers are gonna be all over the country, so give them kinda a little bit more, like, Taylorsville, Kentucky, that
Yeah,
area?
it's Spencer County, Kentucky, Taylorsville Lake.
Spencer Ca
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
you've got Guest Creek, which is in Shelbyville, which is usually not very far away from either. Which I plan on doing next week. But Taylorsville is not known for bass fishing. It's not. It's a tough, tough fishery. Like you'd be lucky to catch 10 pounds. And I just seen a tournament not that long ago. With the winner caught 16 pounds, that's a big bag out there. That's a huge bag. Um, but it's known for crappie and hybrids, really, and catfish. There's some 70-pound
Uh,
catfish caught out of there last year.
how big a lake is that one?
I don't really, really know, to be honest with you. It's not a huge lake. It's basically dammed up of the Salt River, and they did it in '82. They dammed up the Salt River, and which made Tillsville Lake, and there's tons of standing timber on both sides, and you've got like the main part of the lake, and then it goes into like a creek, and it kind of winds down to where it runs into the salt, and then at the top end where the salt comes into it. Yeah, it's not a it's not a fashion lake, it's not nothing that the Elite Series or any kind of tournament organization is gonna come to, and
Yeah,
it's one of them little holes in the walls, it's a recreational kind of a
that's
flood
it.
control lake.
Yeah. That there's kinda like what I like to go hit because it ain't got the traffic, you ain't got the
It's
boaters out
got
there having
traffic.
fun.
Oh
Does
my
it?
gosh. I
Okay.
get beat up, man. I go during the worst time on Sundays in the middle of the day where there's
Yeah, that would
thousands of
be then
people
if
out
they got a
there.
lot of boat okay, yeah, so they're doing all
Oh,
their
yeah.
motor boating
So
and you're dealing with it.
yeah, so keep in mind as I'm trying to make content in the toughest part of the day with all the traffic, so these fish are just super, super pressured, and they're really hard to catch. I've had pretty good success so far fishing out there so far.
What kind of bait you having the best whenever you're throwing
Ooh.
something, what are you throwing most time?
Well, considering it's not a pattern lake, so if you do develop a pattern, it's not s- like really specific. It's more of a junk fishing kind of a place where if you see a log or lay down, you better throw something in there because there might be something there. Having said that, I like to cover a lot of water. Usually a flat side crankbait. I like the Fritz side five biggin. They they just produce fish day in and day out all year long. Or a jig or chatterbait, probably my three, and a jerkbait, probably four.
So besides there, like, where you like going? I know you said something about what creek was that? Or a river?
Oh, you talking about salt?
Yeah, is that the same one that feeds into it,
Yeah.
or are you talking about, like, going fish in another spot there?
Oh, it's
What's
the
other.
tailwater. It's like right behind the dam.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many weird stuff come out of there, man. It's not you never know what you're gonna catch. That's what I love about it.
So what all is in there?
Oh man, spoonbill. I'm going from the weirdest down to the normal stuff. Spoonbill, hybrids, saugers, saugeye. I've heard there's walleye in there. Uh, a log. I've seen log perch caught out of there. I don't know if you know what they are. They look like little pike. They're like real small.
Okay.
And then I've seen a or a grass pickerel wash up on the sidewalk. There's all species of catfish, all species of bass, smallmouth spots, largemouth. Uh, there's tons of crappie in there. There's a bowfin caught out of there recently. There's
So we're like those species, somebody putting them in, or they just I mean, are they native in some area of Kentucky, or are they just
Yeah, they're all native to Salt River. 'Cause that's all really all that is a
like
Salt River. Because it
yeah,
runs down into Brashear Creek, which is runs all the way through Taylorville and a long way. It runs all the way to Kentucky River, I think, or
okay,
close to it
very
anyway.
cool. Any other lakes that you like hitting besides that one?
In a kayak, I have not been on any besides Taylorsville. Like I said, I plan on hitting Guest Creek this probably Tuesday or Wednesday. It's a little place out
Okay.
in Shelbyville.
How wide is it? Is it a
It's
pretty
smaller
big
than
one, or
Tail.
is
It's
it
smaller than Taylorsville.
okay?
But back in the day, man, there was 10 pounders there, but there's not anymore. That's what I've been told. I don't know if it's true or not. But
Think it's pretty busy down through there as far as people going in fishing and
uh,
that kind of stuff,
not as
or
bad as Taylorsville. It's pretty tame in comparison. But going back to the 10 pounder, man, I asked a marine biologist from Frankfurt if there was 10 pounders in Taylorsville because I wanted to be the first one to catch one out of there. And he said, dude, it's not possible that they're in there because they don't live long enough to get that big. But there's so much bait. There's so much shad. There's so many crappie in there. There's so many small white bass. There's bluegill. There's so much bait in there. Gizzard shad, threadfin. I can't make myself believe they're not in there somewhere. They got to be.
uh, so how? And you said they built it in 81,
80, 82.
so 82, yeah. So you would think that there would be it would be a possibility. I mean, but
Yeah.
I don't know with the heavy. You talking about how heavy a traffic area it is? I don't know. I know here in North Carolina, some of the lakes that we have around here, they all they all have some hosses in it that you can catch, but they're fished all the time year round, and you still see like even when they have a bass tournament, somebody will pull out a 8, 9 pound bass or something like that, and Of course, they're going to probably, if they have anything else to go with it, they're winners, but or in the top 5. But you see that, so
Yeah.
so no 10-pound has ever been called out of
I've,
it, huh?
I've seen
That
it.
they know
I've
of.
seen on Facebook a tournament somebody caught a 7. This is about 4 or 5 years ago in a tournament.
Well, that's getting there.
Yeah. Like on
So,
average, 2.5 pounds is probably your average size okay bass. If you catch anything in the 3, 4 pound range, that's a really good one. If you catch anything like 5 and over, that's a big one. That's absolutely big one.
yeah. So, like in Kentucky, like their fishing regulations and stuff like that, they got anything that's kind of weird or anything far as it's like, man,
No,
why they do this kind of,
no, it's basically just a 15-inch limit. Uh, most lakes in Kentucky are 15 inches, but the statewide is 12. We don't have like a slot limit. I think there is actually, it's all lake by lake, but none around here that I know of have slot limits. If that's what you mean.
okay. Yeah. So, like, um, I don't know, like here in North Carolina, they just get weird with things here for some reason. I ain't sure how many thousand um, commissioners they have now that's on the wildlife board, but it seems like everybody who donated to the governor has got is a wildlife commissioner, and it's like CEOs of. Oh, it's just crazy who they pick. It ain't nobody that has any experience with wildlife. It is just like it's like an honorary position almost, it seems like. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I ain't slandering anybody. I'm just saying that they come up with some weird things here with their hunting and fishing.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure. Like, give me an example. I'm just kind of curious.
so like so North Carolina, we got the coast, right? And we have like the most treacherous or it's like a dangerous coast, for boating and this and that. We have the Outer Banks. And pretty much the commercial fishermen, in a lot of people's opinion, they can go and do like you'll be sitting like at the beach enjoying, and they come like right up and be casting, doing net fishing or whatever. It's like really, really aggressive commercial fishermen or fishing. And then they limit us. We have a season that we can catch flounder, and I think this year you got to tag them pretty much like a deer,
Oh
and
wow.
they got to be a certain size. You got to call them in, and if you don't I mean, it's just you can go to Virginia or you can go to South Carolina, and they got like stipulations on flounder and different type of fish like that, but it's like nothing. We're here. We have a season that is a very short season. You pretty much got to catch a monster flounder. And I mean, you can't risk going, flounder gigging really, because if you hit the wrong fish, you got a ticket right there. And they like really pretty strict in enforcing it. The far as freshwater, it's not really that bad. We have some like snakehead and stuff like that I think people may have put in the lake at some point. And we have some kind of weird non-native fish, like that's in like Lake Norman and some other bigger lakes. And they're trying to go in and kill those off. And then, the grass carp, bow fishing got to be really big here. Is that big where you're at, bow
I
fishing?
see folks doing it.
Well, so here what they would have is these tournaments, and they'd go in and shoot all the grass carp. And at that time there was too many. So everybody's like, hooray, you're getting, it's overpopulated. Well, after they started doing these tournaments and they got real popular, people started outrigging these boats and all this stuff. Then they were catching 20 and 30 or shooting 20 to 30 carp a night. And then some people, because you always have those type of people, they be throwing a bunch of dead carp back in the water or throwing them on the bank, wherever.
Yeah.
And you have all the issues with that. So that was something that they talked about addressing. I don't think they've actually done anything quite yet on that, but that was some issues that would come up. I don't know. It's always has trends come and go. They kind of have to adjust the laws to,
Yeah.
protect the wildlife. So I don't know. I actually never went bow fishing. I wanted to. I still want to. Never have done it. That's something on my bucket list. I got this old bow that I'm really bad about collecting uh, old archery stuff. I got like a bunch of old bows, and I got this one And the wife is like, "Hey, what are we going to do with this?" I'm like, "I'm gonna make out a bow fishing boat." That's like 5 years ago, and it's still sitting like actually kind of out in the house. And she's like, "Are you ever like, yeah, at some point I'm gonna go smoke me a carp with that thing. Heck yeah." So, so with you, you're not a hunter per se, but would you ever want to get into bow fishing? Like somebody want to take you,
Yeah,
and you be out there?
I would totally do it. But speaking of bow fishing,
Yeah.
we were mentioning species. We do have Asian carp, especially
Okay.
in the tailwater, and you see a lot of folks that are down there. That's what they're targeting is the Asian carp. I don't think they're in the lake yet, but I could be wrong. I've heard they are. Heard they're not. So
And that's the ones that jump up in the air when the boat goes by
yeah,
and all that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I would like to pop one of them too. Yeah, I think Ohio ain't there a river in Ohio that's eat up with
The Ohio
them or
River, yeah.
something? Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, the falls.
I
Oh,
see
that's
like
another place I like to go to is the Falls of Ohio. Roger or
ha-
Lewis and Clark Park or Lewis and Clark. I don't know. It's named after them. I don't know, but it's just a big flat
yeah,
rock area, and it when the water comes up a little bit, you get a lot of fish in there, like sauger and hybrids, especially. And you never know what you catch. There's catfish. There's about everything in there.
how far is that from you?
About 45 minutes, I think. Maybe a little less, 40, something like that.
Well, dang, yeah, man. Like for me, I live in the boonies. Like
Excuse me.
it's a good 20-30 minutes to get to anything. So yeah, that ain't too bad then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got a nice
so
little, selection of fisheries around here that I don't really take advantage of as much as I should, but because it's hard to pass up. I only get 4 hours to fish on Sundays, so it's kind of, in my backyard. I'm like right there. It's kind of I
right.
can't justify it.
Yeah, so and you just mainly kayak fish and bank fish, or what do you normally do?
I used to bank fish until I got this uh kayak in last June, and here's my registration for the old kayak and the motor that I just bought. I just got these on Thursday, so
Oh,
yeah,
cool. So what motor did you get? What motor did you gonna
dude,
put on?
I went the cheapest route. I went with a Amazon special that got really good ratings, and that's what I went with because the motor that was built for the kayak I got is $1,500, and I'm not about to do that. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's
Yeah,
a Minn
no.
Kota, and then they got a motor guide that's built specifically for the kayak that I have. And they're
Yeah,
both $1,500. Like totally not doing that. So I went with a cheaper version. I'm not going to actually mount it on the kayak with a plate like traditionally on the bow. I got a bracket that goes on my tracks on the side, and it's a bar, and then it connects to that bar on the outside of my kayak. So it's going to be on the side, like up a little bit. The, you know
right.
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that was the cheapest way I could do it in my mind and still get what I wanted out of it.
So how powerful is that engine?
Uh, it's 55 pounds of thrust.
That's pretty good
Yeah,
then.
I bought it's a
For
little short shafted one because I had to get a specific size shaft. I thought that was
yeah,
kind of weird, but when it's on the outside, I don't have to worry about shaft length. I want it to be as short as possible. Well, not as
yeah,
possible, but you know what I mean. Then I went with a lithium battery, another Amazon special. I
yeah.
think it's the Dodo was the name of it. It's a 10-year battery. It's I'm not sponsored by them folks or nothing or anything, but the like I said, I haven't tried it out yet. I'm probably going to put it together on Sunday and go test it out.
I thought it was gonna be that'd be a new video, right?
I do plan on doing a little bit of filming. Yeah, that I
Yeah,
plan on
I
doing
would probably put it.
a year kind of a review of that kayak itself. That's going to happen sometime. I might do it Sunday. I probably will.
Okay. The so I'm a let's see how to put this. I'm fat. So I I get I didn't really know. I mean, a lot of like small people don't know that there's like weight limits on
Yeah,
kayaks. So yeah, so I'm sitting here as a fat man and I'm looking, I'm like, wow, for me to be on a kayak, I gotta spend some money. And this thing's like a 80 footer. I mean, it looks like, like Titanic is rolling in, to hold me and not let me tip over. So I haven't like dove into the kayak thing. I got a canoe and it's got I'm good in it. But the kayak, I've been like skinnying down a little bit. So I'm hoping to get to the point to where when I get into the kayaks, um, I don't know if I want to get one that's got a motor in it or if it's going to be something that, kind of like what you have, something I could rig up something to. But, things get pretty expensive pretty
They
quickly
do.
whenever you look at a powered one.
Well, going on what you said about the weight limit, I think mine, it's a bona fide SS 107. I think it holds 450 or 550 hundred or
Yeah.
pounds. And then if you ever was looking into one, I think the bona fide PWR 127, I think that holds like 650.
Yeah.
But they're like
So
three
so I'm
grand.
right
They're
there.
like $3,000, and mine was only
Yeah, no,
1,300.
yeah, so I'm right there, like, I'm in the high 2s is where I'm at right now. I was, like honestly, I just go ahead and tell you, I was, like, up to 330 almost.
Damn.
Then I got down, like, 320. I know, exactly. Well, so, like,
You
this
just
is
don't
way
seem like it,
oversharing.
from what I can see.
Dude,
Just saying.
you just don't know what kinda AI I got playing right now in this video. Nah, so I'm sitting back like a few months ago, and I like pick up something heavy, and I have this pain in my chest. And I'm like, holy smoke, this fat man is having a heart attack. It is over for me because it was like hurting really bad. So I don't do anything, kind of just chill. After like a day or so, it ain't gone, and I'm not feeling great. And I'm like, man, so I go to emergency room, and I'm like, hey, yesterday I had like a little chest pain, ain't went away. Next thing I know, I'm like fully clothed, laying in a stretcher. They have hooked me up to every monitor is. They're in life saving mode because when a fat dude says, hey, my chest hurts, you're like going to be having a heart attack. You know what I mean? It's obvious you eat too many cheeseburgers. So I'm laying there. After like 6 hours of like blood work, a CT scan, the doctor comes in and says, look, I think you have anxiety. In other words, it's in my head. I said, Doc, I think my chest hurts right now. It ain't no anxiety. I said, it is. And he said, where's it hurt? And I said, right here on my heart. And he like started pressing, and all of a sudden he hit this spot, lit me up. I mean, lit me up. He said, you tore tendons. I can feel like a knot in here. What was you doing? I said, well, I picked up this. And so the whole episode was a torn muscle and tendons in my chest. But man, you want to talk about working out deals, talking to God. That's 6 hours. I was laying there thinking I was getting ready to go and hopefully get a stent and still live, like that time. So since then, like I'm down now to like, I lost like 20 some pounds so far. So it was very life changing.
Oh
So
yeah.
I've been walking a couple miles, or I try to do around 2 to 3 miles a day walking and all that. I feel way better. My diet's way cleaner, and actually my relationship with God's better because, I was, just, you don't never know. Like you think that could be it. And luckily, man, I had nothing wrong with me. I'm actually pretty healthy for a fat dude. And it's not really a second chance. It's just like, hey, this is a wake up call.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, dude. I'm
So
glad you got that going on, man, because it
yeah.
feels good, to
So,
lose a few pounds.
it does. And, it's kind of, and I told my wife, Lisa, I said, I said, when I get like down to like, say, 250, I said, I want to get a kayak. She's like, well, you can get one of these now. Like, I was like, no. I said, I don't want to be the weird guy that's got the tackle box behind me. And I kind of look like a turtle crawling over a rock trying to reach back behind me to get it. You know what I mean? Because, you can't really, as a big man, I've just seen that before. I'm like, I don't want
That's
to be
that's
that guy.
me.
So I'm just going to wait.
I weigh about 240. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
5'11", 240,
Well, yeah.
235.
So when I get your size, dude, I'll be on the water in the kayak. But until right now, I'm just a little too top heavy for it. I know I'll fall off. So
Nah, them things are
I
pretty
just have
sturdy,
to wait.
especially those bona fides, man. They're pretty. That's the reason I bought that one specifically, because it was praised for its stability, and because that was my biggest thing is temping that thing over. I mean, even though I do wear a life jacket, but
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. If I don't have to deal with
Now,
it, I don't want to.
now, do you wear one of the life jackets that blow up, or
It
do you wear like just a standard old
it's
timey life
both.
jacket?
It's got a manual pull button and an auto at the same time.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm thinking about like if I got one, I would want that. I would, I don't want the bulky because I'm already bulky enough. I want the one, but that's cool. Which one of them did you buy?
Amazon special.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's just it,
Well,
ain't it? It's the Amazon
well,
thing.
I got an Amazon storefront. Um, I put a lot of baits on there that I use. I get I get commission through the links that I share on, like,
Yeah.
If I catch something on a specific bait that I bought from Amazon, I'll link it in my video. It
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't get a whole lot of traffic, but it's there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's just a part of the circle of being an influencer and a content creator. You
Yeah,
just
you gotta start somewhere.
you gotta have all the wheels or all the spokes in the wheels for everything to kind of work.
Yeah.
So, did like growing up, did your dad and stuff get you into like fishing, or who was it that took you? Like, how did that
It was
work?
my grandpa. My dad never really fished or took us fishing. He did fish, but he just didn't. Like on the weekends, I'd go stay night with my grandparents, and me and my grandpa would, we'd cut grass on Saturday, and then we'd get all ready to get our stuff together, and we'd go fishing Sunday morning. And we'd go all over the place. We went to Fort Knox. We'd go to McNeely, which is a little park. We'd Tom Wallace, which is another little park. We'd go to some of his friends' houses. Um, I got a story about one of his friends' houses. It's actually kind of funny.
Go
Anyway,
ahead.
we got done fishing, all right? So we're driving back. He's like, I'm gonna stop at one of my buddy's house. It's like, all right. And when we get there, we pull up on this gravel road and we're going down. It seemed like forever because I was kind of young. I was maybe 13, 14 years old. And we finally get up there and I noticed I got a pond and I'm like, I'm gonna go fishing again because I didn't want to leave. I never did. But anyway, this is where it gets funny. Do you remember the helicopter lure, lure Roland Martin?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nobody that I know of on the internet has ever, I've never seen anybody that said they caught a fish on one. Well,
All right.
when we get up there, I asked the boy if I was like, can I fish your pond? He's like, sure, yeah, but there ain't no fish in there. Well, after about 20 minutes, I caught one and I took it up there and he's like, I'll be, whatever. And
Yeah,
like, I didn't even know there was any fish in there. And yeah. I remember dragging it over
that's
some
pretty.
lily pads and it fell down into like a hole in the lily pads. And I see my line jump and I using a little 6-foot ugly stick with like 14-pound mono. That ugly stick was about as whippy as it could possibly be. It's a wonder I even caught
Yeah,
anything on that thing.
right. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Did you ever get to go back up there and fish at him more, or was that just a one time
I'm
thing?
assuming that was the only bass in there. I don't know. We never went back.
Man, that's cool. We got a uh little pond. The dam busted, and it's I don't know, ain't like 3 or 4 feet deep. And we was fishing down there one time before the dam busted, and I caught a bass. And Daddy said, "I didn't know there this was like the farm pond that his dad, my grandpa built." And he's like, "I don't ever remember putting bass in here." So then we kind of started bass fishing that evening, and I caught that one. It was like a 3 pound, and he caught like a 5 pound bass. And he was so excited, he put them in the freezer, and he took them to my dad was a barber, and he took them to a taxidermist guy that he was cutting hair. So I have a little 2.5 pound that I caught, and it was my first bass ever. And then a 5 pound bass that he caught that he didn't even know that any bass was in there. And it's not a huge pond, but I actually think because I think it was actually kind of where, you hear of like the different birds flying into water and transplanting. I think it had to be probably something like that. I don't actually, cause no one ever remembered putting them in because they stocked it themselves by fishing other ponds and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very well
So,
could have happened.
I don't know. That's pretty cool. That is neat though. You get to go do that. So, like, is your grandpa still around or?
No, he's been gone for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. It was,
What?
no, go ahead.
Yeah. So, like, what kind of fishing did he like doing the most?
He liked just bluegill fishing with crickets. He was just,
That's
and then, but me, I wanted to do the stuff that I saw on TV. I wanted the bass fish. I
right.
didn't
Yeah.
care about the bluegill and stuff. So,
Yes.
he rigged me up. I remember using those little push buttons. He rigged me up. I don't know if you remember this or not. Back in the day, I'd say probably late 80s, early 90s, you would buy a tackle box, one of those little cheap ones from like Kmart, which our
Yeah.
newer generation don't know what that even is. And inside it would be like a bunch of little things. You'd have like this little plastic worm that had like a spinner on it, like a propeller. And they had like some
Right.
plastic worms that were like lime green, but they were clear. And they were the worst plastics on the history of planet, on the history of
Right.
plastics. And he texted Rigby one of those. He's like, just throw it out there and drag it around and hop it a few times. It took a few years, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
persistence prevailed, but it wasn't even on those plastic worms. My first bass I ever caught was one of those little crawfish that was in that thing. It was a plastic crawfish, and it was probably about that big, and it had like a plastic keeper on it, and it had like a it was kind of thicker, but it beat off like in a while like that. And I remember hopping it around, and I reeled it in, and one just jumped up there and grabbed it. And that was the first
Oh,
bass I
wow.
ever caught.
That's
Yeah, it
cool.
was one
The,
of my dad's friends or my grandpa's friends again, but he was my dad's friend too. So
yeah.
it's like a little, it
That
was a cow pond out in Bullitt County.
You know, the cow ponds and farm ponds, they kinda spoil you. You kinda go there and you just, like, wear them out, and then you go to a lake and you're like, "Wow, this is actually really hard." You know, there
Yeah.
is no fish here where I'm at, and,
See,
it is I mean
that's the best part of fishing is finding them. You know what I mean?
right.
That's to me, that's the best part, figuring them out.
So now do you have any kind of, fish finder on your thing at all, or you just kinda
Yeah, I do. I have a 2D sonar. It's one of those castable ones that you put on a rod and you cast it over by this log and see if there's anything there. But it's a 2D.
right?
It's not forward facing sonar. I don't
Yeah,
run forward facing sonar. I don't agree with forward facing sonar.
right.
But most of the time, I don't even use 2D. I just go and figure it out. I don't even
Yeah,
like.
just
I've done so much map study that I know where I'm at. Like I know what's where. So I don't really.
I mean, and you're kinda going to the lake in your backyard, so, you know, once you fish it, you kinda you learn it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like knowing the way to the store at that
Yeah.
point, you know? You just
But to be fair, I didn't really fish it on the lake on a boat. I've only fished it like 3 times on a boat until last June.
okay, so everything else is just bank
Yeah,
fishing, working around it, that kind
yeah. When
okay.
the marina gets flooded, man, them big girls get over there. I've been telling people every time it floods, I go up there and catch a couple big girls or one big girl, and I got some videos on YouTube of it, and I've got one on Gen 7 that, caught
Yeah,
a couple big girls there on spinnerbait.
that's all. That's cool. I mean, that you're that close and that you can, you know, get up there. Now you got your kayak. I mean, that there's gonna open up a lot of possibilities, you know,
Oh, I'm
where to
pretty
get
stoked
to.
about it, I promise you, that the motor at least, because I only have 4 hours and you're paddling when the wind's blowing, like, above 10
Right.
miles an hour, you're just at the mercy. Like, you have to
Yeah,
strategically paddle to where you wanna fish and play the wind as if it was a golf shot to drift past
right.
it to be
Very
able to
true.
fish and get the angles you wanna get, and,
Right.
um, and if the wind's blowing above 15, it sucks. It really sucks.
Oh,
Because
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it will.
that
Yeah, just take you know
no, go ahead, dude.
well, no, it just, you know, like, it'll just take you wherever it's going, and there ain't a whole lot you can do about
Yeah.
it, you know, even if you're paddling, you're kinda moving with it while you're paddling,
Yeah, that
so
kayak weighs 80 pounds, and it's a big old thing, man. It's and plus me on top of it. It's just I got stuck out there one time where I was trying to go. I normally go down the bank and then over to this point, and I knew I had to come back, and the wind was blowing about 20 miles an hour, literally steadily. And I have
right.
to be back on the bank at 2 o'clock if I'm going to make it back to where I need to be at 3. So I started paddling back at 12:45, and I didn't get back to the bank in like 2:15.
Oh,
Yeah, and it
man.
wasn't very far
Nah.
either. Normally it takes me like 30 minutes. But the wind was so
Yeah,
bad, I
man.
got stuck in this pocket, and there was a point there, and I was trying to go around the point to go down the bank because the wind's not blowing as bad on the around the bank, but it was blowing so hard I couldn't even get past that point because it was whipping around that. So I backed up into the pocket and then just paddled my tail off until I went straight through it through that wind that was coming this way. Because I almost beached it and called my wife. I'm like, you're going to go pick up my daughter because I ain't going to make it in time.
Yeah, that's crazy. The, we used to do, like here we got a place a thing, Yagan River, and, we'd float that and fish, and, again, I, like, have a canoe, and, man, the wind get up, and between that and the current, you are really struggling with the wind stuff, so, um, as far as, like, what's your plans, like, far as we're early summer, so, like, what's your plan as far as, you know, for the rest of this year, kinda what you're hoping to go fish and what you hoping to get some film of and that kinda stuff?
Well, really good question because there's lots of things that I want to do that I won't be able to. And I really just want to get out and explore more of the lake that I don't that I previously couldn't until now with the motor. Um, I wouldn't mind, I'd like to do some multi-species stuff. I'm probably going to do that next week because I'll have the time. Um,
Yeah.
and I'll be posting more on Gen 7. You're going to be seeing a lot of me.
Oh
I
yeah.
promise you that. A lot of me. You're gonna be like,
That'd
you're
be
gonna be like,
cool.
oh my gosh, another video, Brandon. Like, yeah,
That's awesome. Oh, heck yeah. That's what we want. That's
but
exactly what we want.
yeah, I mean, and exploring different places. I'd like to do some tournaments. The only issue I have with the tournaments, and it's gonna sound petty, but I don't even care. They allow forward facing sonar, and I don't like that
So what's the deal with like the why does it why don't you like it? What's the deal with that?
because it's not fair chase. You're not supposed to know those fish are there.
That's true. I
Because
mean, it is.
let's put it this way: my mother and my mother-in-law know nothing about fishing. I explained it to them.
Right.
Their first thing that's cheating. First thing come out of their mouth. They know nothing about it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I actually I've never been on a boat that's had the forward facing with, the whole, outrig of stuff. So I don't really know like how far out it reaches and kind of that kind of stuff. But I do know pretty much if you do tournament, that's what everybody's running. And that's just
Yeah.
how they are now. The, are there any other tournaments that you could do that don't have that or
NPFL, I
no, all
guess.
of
I mean,
them?
unless there's these local tournaments that don't allow it, which I don't know how they would enforce it.
Right.
But in
Yeah.
Taylorsville, it really doesn't make that much difference because fish don't really get offshore anyway. Especially during the summer, the thermocline gets about 10 feet, so they're not going to be below 10 feet anywhere. So you kind of got them
Okay.
cornered a little bit. But that's only in the summer. In the wintertime and in the fall, when that gets stirred up, and in spring, it's a little different. But
The
back to the forward facing sonar, man. I just don't. I think it takes the fun out of fishing because you're not, like I said, you're not supposed to know they're there. You're supposed to think they're there, make your presentation, and then get bit. The sonar's up here between your ears. It's not on a screen sitting on the front of your boat. It should be in your head.
right. The, I mean, I actually have heard, some other arguments about that, especially in like the tournament fishing, because there was one gentleman in particular who he's older, kind of at the, I don't know, it may be just a couple more years and he's not going to tournament fish anymore. And he's really good at it. But as all of a sudden, he had a bass boat and he had everything set up. And then all of a sudden he had to go drop, I want to say, I can't remember how many thousand it was just to be competitive because everybody else had went to
Yeah.
that. And, he goes in that series. I don't know if it goes up to Kentucky or not. I know it's southeast. I mean, it's in multiple states that he would go fish or goes fish. But I remember him talking about how he didn't want to. It's pretty much like he didn't want to do it, but you couldn't. And this right here is pretty big money. Like his entry fees are pretty stout, so you can't just throw that money and be like, oh no, I'm not going. You got to have every trick that they got.
Yeah.
But
And
I mean, I
I don't
get
blame the fishermen. I blame the technology.
yeah.
Like, it's not cheating. The fishermen are not cheating. It's the technology is cheating the sport in my mind. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm not calling anybody a cheater. And I know I didn't say that, but I still think it's cheating the sport in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I understand. Yeah, the, like whenever, here in North Carolina and other states, used to be if you had a crossbow, you had to have like a disability.
Mhm.
Well, then the deer population just kept getting bigger and bigger, and the insurance companies were paying out for all these damaged cars and that kind of stuff. It wasn't like, hey, the population is too big. It's kind of like, well, we need to get the population down because of the damage and this and that. And well, some states probably it was just in general population. But anyway, they started allowing crossbow hunts, crossbow hunters, and you can use it just buy one, use one. And whenever that happened, I don't know, there's a bunch of traditionalists that were pretty wound up over the whole crossbow thing. And but that right there is actually like, I don't know. I mean, I'm to each their own. If they find enjoyment and they're paying, they're doing everything right legally, happy to them. Me, I'm kind of like, I like using everything old for some reason. I like all the vintage stuff. Like over here behind the camera, I got a wooden bowl carved out that's full of 1960s 202s and 404 Zepcos. That's got the metal, the like the first series,
Hmm.
And anytime I go to a pawn shop or an antique place or something, I see one, I grab it. But it reminds me back when I was fishing with my grandpa, that's what he had was all these old 1960s fishing reels. And we just, again, it was just the bobber and,
Yeah.
catching brim. So I don't know. Every time I see one, I'm like, man, that was kind of like one grandpa had. I just buy it. And now I got like 10 of them. So,
Yeah.
but that's what I
Yeah.
like using, is the old stuff like that. So, I mean, teach
Yeah.
everybody, each their own
You
on
know what
that.
though?
But
I think they should modify it. The forward facing sonar. You should be able to see like this. It's no different than really sad imaging. If they would take away the fish, like if you could see a brush pile, that's cool. But take
right.
away the fish. I'll be all for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You know what you should start. I mean, here you got your YouTube channel, you own Gen 7 Outdoors, you're now affiliate with Amazon and all this stuff. So you're kind of working your way in and creating your media empire. So what you should do is you should start a primitive kayak tournament. Or not a tournament, maybe a group. You know what I mean? I mean, just show up with your paddle. I mean, if you're gonna use a trolling motor, whatever, get out in the lake, but that's no sonar at all. That'd be a cool tournament.
Yeah, it would. And if they
Let's see
had
who's
one, I would totally be in it. But the only problem is that it's enforcing it. I guess you could
true.
you could probably search everybody's yak and like let me see your dry box. You going through all their stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
yeah. I mean, if they're out there launching and you got a launch time, it would. I don't know. I mean, I think you could probably keep them honest with it. I mean, and plus, if they're there showing up for that, then they probably feel kind of the way you
Yeah.
do. They just want to get out and
Yeah.
so I don't know. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
But if
I wonder what it would
but
take.
if they did have one, it'd be easy money.
Yeah. Well, I
You know what
mean,
I
somebody's
mean?
going to tell on them. I mean, like it's like the whole lead weights. You may get away with it for a minute, but you'll get
Yeah. We
caught.
got weights and
The
fish.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what it would take to put something like that together.
I don't know. There's some regulations and rules and stuff around here that if you're going to host a tournament, you have to jump through all these hoops. And somebody in the tailwater, I got a Facebook group on called Taylorsville Lake Tailwater. They wanted to do like a tailwater tournament. I don't know how they were going to do it, but like each species is a certain point or a certain amount of points,
Yeah,
and he would do the leaderboard and stuff on the group. And he looked into it and he's like, man, there's so many hoops you got to jump through to get. You got to have like a license. You got to do this, that, and the other. And he's like, dude, it's not even worth it. Like if you were,
that would be
yeah,
true.
it's sad, but I mean, you could probably do it privately,
Right.
but I mean, to make it like a big open, hey, we're having this kayak tournament, like a big announcement on Facebook, no forward facing sonar, stuff like that. You'd have to jump through all those
You have
hoops.
to. Yeah, you have to get. Yeah, I can see that. The permissions and that kind of stuff. The I don't know though. I would. Having a group like that to kind of. I feel like that you're not alone in. That feeling that you got there with the forward facing sonar. It'd be kind of neat to see how many people would be interested in being a part of a group where they went out and fished, and that was kind of the more primitive type of fishing. So I don't know. I always like thinking of like new little niches that you could do, and that could be something.
I
I
mean,
don't
like
know.
start a
We'll have
group
to.
on Facebook called No Forward Facing Sonar Fishing.
You should. You should start, and it needs to be something because okay, so this podcast is recorded, but it won't be live until like 5 days from now, 4 days, something like that. So in this time, you should be like, okay, what are we gonna call this? Get your little group going, right? I think it'd be cool. Just get in there. And it'd be like, I mean, I ain't saying go take picketed signs or nothing, but
Yeah.
like people who believe that way, I think that'd be cool. We'll have to if the group happens, and if that happens, I will. If you're listening to this or watching this, if it happens, I'm going to go ahead and like put the link to that Facebook group in the description of this podcast, so you'll find that link right
Okay.
there.
I'll see what I can do.
So
I'll
I think I think it would be
I think the
a
leader of
thing.
this group should be Randy Blockett. Do you know who
Yeah.
Randy Blockett is?
So no, I don't. Who's
Oh
that? Lay
man,
out on me.
he is like the forward facing sonar Nazi. He's not even for it at all. Like it should be banned off this planet. Unless
So
unless it's for like a study for the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife or the folks that do studies on lakes. That's only people should have that kind of technology.
yeah, so then once the group is up, we're gonna come back on the podcast, invite him, three-way podcast, and that's why we're going to that's all we're gonna do is bash people, being like, look, you can't be doing this. It's
Yeah.
sad. You not
But when we get off here, look up Randy Blockett. Like
all right.
he was on the he was an old Bassmasters guy back in the day. I remember hearing his name when I was watching those tournaments back in the day. I think it was like late '80s, middle late '80s when he was a rookie, and then he fished all the way up to like 2008 when in the recession and he lost everything and he developed a YouTube channel. He went into like, he started doing educational like how to stuff, and now he's into the forward facing sonar. Always he's always bad mouthing it and whatnot. That's like all of his videos are geared towards anti forward facing sonar. And I do agree with 99% of what he says as far as it's concerned, but sometimes his videos do get kind of annoying.
I got you.
But
I
he
got
he
you.
he would not even answer the invite if I sent him one, dude.
I don't know. I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna see him a Gen 7 Outdoor like email like from the channel. Hey, blah blah
Oh,
blah.
hey, dude, that'd be awesome.
Hey, man, what's your opinion of this forward-facing sonar debate? And I was like, would you like to join us for a podcast episode talking about tournament fishing with forward? Yeah, I think it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to. It's going to be an interesting like 4 days to see what all transpires. So again, it'd be in the descriptions if something else cool is going to happen. I ain't saying it will, but at least the group hopefully will be there.
Yeah, but you ever heard of Bass After Dark? It's like a
Uh-uh.
podcast. I mean, like this is, but they had Ben Milliken, who is like the top or one of the top fishing YouTubers, and Randy Blockett debating the forward facing sonar deal on there.
Oh
Just look up
wow.
Bass After Dark, Randy Blockett, and Ben Milliken.
I'll have to do that. Oh my gosh. I mean, I remember, like I say, I heard that guy that's a friend of mine talk about it. Now you talked about it. So apparently it gets on people's nerves. So yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
interesting because I fish a little bit, but I like catfish in the rivers. That's kind of my thing that I enjoy. So I don't do like the tournament, any kind of thing like that. So it would be a learning experience for me because I'm going into it pretty blind, other than just the very common knowledge you would have reading about any of that stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, that'd be a fun one.
yeah. And don't get it twisted, man. Them catfish dudes use it too.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody, I mean every time you pretty much know exactly. Is it so? What's the difference between that and what they use? Like these people when they're looking for, like, say if someone has a car wreck and their car is underwater, ain't that the same deal? Like this kind of sonar they're using for that to find the
I'm
cars?
pretty sure it is. Yeah, I think it started in
Yeah.
saltwater. I think
Okay.
where I think they were trying to find the reefs or something where the boats wouldn't go, where they couldn't, or they won't wreck themselves or shit or get stuck on a sandbar or stuff like that.
Right.
I'm not 1,000% on that, but I think that's where it started.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, once we get off here, I'm gonna do a little research and I'll find that guy. I'm gonna send him an email. Say, hey, look, we're talking about having this
Yeah,
debate on the
he's a
podcast.
pretty big
Yeah, I
YouTuber,
don't know.
man.
Let's see what happens with it. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
good.
he's
Well,
made a lot of money from haters. Like that's his audience now is haters.
really, he's
Oh
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
yeah.
Man. And how old is he?
Oh, hell, he's
He'd have
in
to be kinda older.
yeah, oh, yeah, he's in 60 something,
Yeah, so how old are you?
44.
44? So, I'm 48. I will say, as I get older, I turn into, like, kind of what he is. I'm turning that way. I'm kinda getting, like, set, and I wouldn't use the word bitter or jaded. Opinionated, I would use opinionated, it'd be like, "Wow,
Yeah.
nah, this ain't." Yeah, so, yeah, so after he was in the industry that long, all that happened to him, and now, yeah, he just probably is dealing with some I don't know. I mean, he could have some little trauma going on there that he's, like, working through
He
and
very well
just
could be.
forcing it out there.
Or, or he's just trying to preserve, and I'm using his words actually, preserve
Yeah.
the traditional bass fishing.
Oh, yeah, I mean well, yeah, that I mean, I get that, and I know that's I'm just saying based off of you saying, like, he just was making his living off of haters, so he obviously is saying stuff that they don't agree with. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be an interesting conversation. I would like to explore that, see if he
Yeah.
wants to
Don't
come
and
talk. It'd be
don't pass up going down in the comments, man. There's some good ones in there, dude. Oh, yo, dinosaur, you don't know a effing thing, yada yada yada, this, that, and the other. It's comical, dude. You just might as well get you some popcorn and just scroll and read and eat popcorn and scroll some more. And it's
he's
fun.
making yeah, if he's getting those kind of comments on his YouTube videos, he's making bank.
Oh yeah.
That YouTube yeah, like, it's one thing if you get a viral video that people are sharing, they're like, "Oh, wow, let's go share some money." But if you're getting one and everybody's commenting on it, then they're like, that's bank
Yeah. I'm
right
trying to
there, so
think. He actually said he gets like 1.2 a month,
yeah,
1.2 million views a month,
yeah,
which is a hell of a lot more than I make. But I'm nobody.
yeah, the,
I'm
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. Oh, shoot, you're hammering it out, dude. I mean, that there's it's kinda like whenever we rebuilt the TV channel and relaunched it, I was talking with the developer, and he's like, "Yeah, this thing's gonna do this, this, and this." And I said, "Yeah," I said, "It's gonna start like YouTube." YouTube started with 1 video and 1 play, and look what it turned
Yeah.
into, and that's kinda
Gotta start somewhere.
so yeah, so, like, how much, well, I know you struggle far as time being able to create content and put up, like, on the channel and that kinda stuff. The, how well has your channel and that kinda stuff growed
How
in,
well?
say, the last year or so?
Uh, well, I did a giveaway not that long ago. It was last year for 1,000 subscribers, and I put like a bunch of baits together, and it was a year long, and I was going to give it away on Halloween. Um, and it was successful. What I think happened was a lot of my subscribers, I think people shared it to a bunch of people, and then those folks just went and subscribed and don't ever get on YouTube just for the giveaway.
Right,
But they didn't
right,
know that the day of the giveaway, they had to comment on that channel on that video to be eligible for the giveaway. You're not
right.
just going to subscribe to my channel and then expect the giveaway. You're going to have to be watching, because it was and during the wintertime. Well, this was another one that I did during the wintertime where every time I went fishing, I didn't catch anything. I'd put a bait in the box. So every time I went out, I'd put another one
Okay.
there. I had like 8, 9 of them in a row. And then finally spring came in here and I finally caught one. But anyway,
Yeah,
and that was this year's giveaway. But yeah, that's how I think I got as many as I did, or as many as I have now. I think
right.
realistically, if I reoccurring watchers, I think I have probably that are like hardcore watchers, like watch every single video. I'd say probably 40 or 50 that
Yeah,
actually watch everything that I put on there from beginning to end.
right.
Out of 2,080
The
that I got, you know,
the, so, I don't know, it's YouTube's algorithm is kinda crazy, and there's a secret sauce to the algorithm, that they do 'cause, like, whenever people are in there scrolling, suggesting videos and that kinda stuff, it's it was like Facebook, any social media, and YouTube says, "Oh, we're not social media because no," but they all operate the same as far as a content creator, like creating content and getting the secret sauce of being suggested and doing that. It's a you have to work really hard at it. But then once you get in there, once you start getting suggested and you start growing, it's kind of like it takes forever to get to like the first 500 followers, but it ain't as hard to get to the next 500. And then when you get to, and after you kind of cross over, if you're uploading content on a certain schedule, then the algorithm likes you better. If you're doing your titles and descriptions a certain way, it likes you better. If you're doing the thumbnails a certain way, it likes you better. It's like all these little elements. And then all of a sudden, you're always generating, 2,000 to 3,000 views, in a 7-day period on your videos. And then once you hit that and you're being monetized, I mean, it ain't like something that you're going to go quit your job over, but, it can help you pay some bills at
Oh
home.
yeah, you're
And,
definitely
so,
heading in the right direction if that's the
yeah,
case. But
yeah.
I
So,
apologize if I didn't answer your question the way you may have wanted it, but I've steadily seen growth over the years, as little
yeah,
as they
yeah,
may
no,
be.
no, no, the way you answer is fine. That's kind of what I
Yeah,
was kind of wondering. It's just, it's hard for a lot of people too to go out and get content. I know, so I have like my own, I have the outdoor channel, but before the outdoor channel, I was just a content creator and I have Outdoor Crusade, which is like my thing. And so I know the struggles of it and it's just a lot of work and it's hard to be consistent for 12 months out of the year,
yeah,
every year and stay on top of it. So
yeah.
so tell everybody what your YouTube channel is.
Local Hammer 82.
That's it.
And
All right.
going at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're all the same. Local Hammer 82. I got the same picture and everything. Um,
All right.
I've got
And that's one word, or is that one word or is it broke
it's
down?
local space hammer, and then 82 is tacked onto the hammer. Like it's one full thing. And I've
All
even
right.
got a playlist on YouTube Music where 240 songs. It's all fishing songs. A guy named High Speed
Very
Chase. I don't know if
cool.
anyone knows who that is, but he does hip hop. And I'm assuming, Jody, that you're probably not into hip hop.
No, I haven't heard of this fellow. No.
High Speed Chase, but it's not HIGH. It's because there is a rapper or hip hop artist named High Speed Chase. This dude's name is HI Speed Chase, and he just
Okay.
released a new album called Beer Bait and Bars 5 because he had like 5 different albums, but the platform he was on like erased his profile, and now he's had to start all over.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I wonder why he got
but
erased
it's
for.
because he
Like
does
what was?
parodies. Like he did a Nelly song, "Hey, must be the money." That song by Nelly. You mean I know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
his song is called "It Must Be the Biggins," and it's about fishing.
I got you.
If you want to go catch
Yeah.
fish with me, make wakes, sling baits, catch a PB. Oh, I love fishing. Hey, must be the biggins. I've
Yeah.
listened
I
to that a
got you.
time or two.
Yeah, I can tell. You kind of, yeah, you got to like reach out to him and be like, hey, look, I need to be on,
Well, he invited me to
one of your
his
songs.
TikTok live 3 weeks ago.
Did he?
He was bow fishing. He sent me a T-shirt 2 weeks before that.
So you didn't do the live
Oh, I
with him?
did. Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. That
It was
is
just him
cool.
bow
Yeah.
fishing, and I'm just like over here watching him. That's really all it was.
Yeah. Very cool. That's neat. Yeah. So you got the playlist and you're on all the social media.
Everything except
How much like,
everything except for X. I'm not on X.
well, what about, like TikTok? Do you post much on
Yeah, I
there?
just posted some today.
Okay.
It's a song about forward facing sonar. I created through AI. I ain't BSing you, dog. It's a
Oh my God,
the
that's
video
hilarious.
is me catching fish, but it's a song that I created through AI. Dude, you gotta go listen to it, man. It's pretty good. It's got me holding a walleye is a goth kind of a scene, and I've got like breath coming out of my
Yeah.
mouth. It's that
Yeah.
one.
Okay, I'll go check it out. What we should have done, we started a podcast would be like, today we're sitting down with Brandon and we're going to talk about forward facing.
Nah,
We should have
dude,
just went
it's not
ahead.
like that, man. I just, there's nothing I can do about it. I just won't use it.
I got you. That's. I had no idea. Like talking about this long, and then you actually did an AI song about it. It's on TikTok. So
It's on
yeah.
YouTube as well.
So all right. So we're going to like in this description. I'll include all the links to like everything we've covered here. So man, I appreciate you coming on board with us tonight. Um, it's been a fun time sitting down talking to you,
Definitely,
brother.
man. I greatly appreciate you just inviting me. We tried this. We tried
Yeah,
last week, but it didn't work out, and that it is what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. So yeah, we'll jump back on again, and I am gonna reach out to that guy. I'm
I
gonna be
hope you
like,
do, and
hey
I hope
man,
he. I hope something happens about
yeah,
that.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
um, so you can find this podcast on wherever you listen to podcasts. You just go to Gen 7, GEN, the number 7, Outdoors, Spotify, like all of them. And we're also going to have this on Gen 7 Outdoors TV. That's available on all TV devices and mobile apps. So you can go download that, and I'm going to actually share this video with Mr. Branding, and he's going to put it up too, I think, on some of his stuff. So this is going to be available everywhere. And Gen 7 is available, like I say, on all the TV, mobile apps. Go check it out. We got a bunch of awesome shows, including Brandon's on there. And it's just, it's just an awesome channel. It's growing. If you know anybody that is a creator, YouTuber, you say, man, that'd be a cool fit on Gen 7 Outdoors, send them over and have them hit our join Gen 7 TV and on gen7outdoors.com. I'll be reaching out to them. And Brandon, I appreciate you coming on board with us, dude. I really enjoyed it. And I'll be putting your links and all that stuff on it. And
Anytime, man.
we'll be rocking and rolling.
Anytime.
All right. Until next time, you have a good one, brother. And thanks everybody for watching Gen 7 Outdoors podcast.
See y'all.
See.